everybody. Drew Richardson here with ASR Miniature Art for another event review. This time we're talking about SoonerCon 31, which happened this year in June/July of 2023. It's a local to Oklahoma convention. It's kind of hard to define. I feel like, which is cool. I think it's awesome that it's hard to find. I'd say it's primarily an art and pop culture convention. It has a lot of content creation stuff, like, and all everything I'm about to talk about. There's panels and classes for all of this. So there's content creation. There's a lot of content creators there that are there to like talk about stuff. They have panels and things. There's a lot of cosplaying and art, which I know cosplaying is art, but specifically cosplaying, and then a lot of like other art as well, like sculpting and painting and I mean anything really, all kinds of art. Especially they really help out. It seems like up and coming artists trying to get like a good footing. It's very new artist friendly. It's also got a lot of so art, pop culture. So I've got some notes here because I was trying to define SoonerCon and I was like, I'm gonna have to write down like a list because there's just so much stuff it does. Pop culture, art, cosplay, content creation. There's also some gaming. Gaming is not a focus, I would say, at the convention. For like the sake of like, there's no like classes like Art of War is not showing up and teaching people how to play Warhammer. But there's like a giant gaming hall for people to do board games and D&D. And this year, which was actually really cool, there was Kill Team and 40K demos and open play. On top of that, because the 40K's 10th edition just dropped, and Kill Team's been growing a lot in our state, so it was that's definitely a presence there, and they have a mini painting competition as well. So gamers that are more focused on the art side of it can also go compete in that, and that's why it was one of that was the primary reason I went this year. This year we also had I think it's forgive me, I'm sorry. I believe it's Brett, but I know it's Goobertown Hobbies. Really awesome YouTube channel. Go check him out. He was actually there this year to do some panels and judged the mini painting competition with a couple of other judges. But he was one of the judges, I believe, that did mini painting competition, and that was really cool. It's really nice to see. Not that our judges that in the past haven't been awesome, and it's not that they don't have any ability to judge because they're amazing. But it is really cool to like have that name, right? That adds excitement to it, right? I'm not going to deny that, and that's the whole point of getting him into it, right? Is like, oh, we want this guy to be one of the judges, and people know that adds a lot of excitement. People want to participate more, and there are a lot of entries this year. I have some photos that I'll put up throughout the video of my entries, the entries that the other entries that I saw, and I'm going to try and steal entries of photos of people that I saw that won. We'll get to that later in the video. And I also have some videos of like just the convention itself and like open gaming and stuff. I didn't take a ton of those because one of the things is that art is also kind of restricted to take photos of. It's just for the privacy of the artist. I totally understand that. Not going to comment on that one way or the other. It's just a policy they have. And hey, that's just the way it is. Now, yeah, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. So anyways, that's pretty much the con altogether. It's an Oklahoma-based convention for all of that: pop culture, art, gaming, content creation, da 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 da. So, probably one of the better conventions I've seen for cosplaying because there's a lot of cosplay stuff there, and there's also vendor halls. There's vendor halls as well. A lot of game stores. And also like art vendors and things like that. There's an auction as well for art going on the whole weekend. Artists come and put their pieces in and auction them off. So really cool. What I did the whole weekend specifically, I didn't really go Friday. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Didn't really go Friday, but I went Saturday, which was, at time of recording, is the day before. It's Sunday night right now. Did a lot of open gaming. Did some Kill Team games. Submitted my entries for the mini competition, and then I also did the charity auction for. Now there's two auctions, and one of them is the artist auction, which is like they put out their art and stuff, and they auction it off. And then there's a charity auction, which is basically, I'm going to say this, and to me this is exciting, so I hope this doesn't come across negative. But it's a giant garage sale. Like it's basically a giant garage sale. But to me, that's so cool because like, oh, let's take like, a gajillion gamers and just have a like, hey, bring all your stuff and we'll auction it off that you don't want and donate it all to charity. So go for it. And it's like, oh man, you can find some really cool stuff. I hung out with my buddy Abraham most of the weekend, and he auctioned like he's really big into Dystopian Wars. He found, I think it was like 3 different kits for Dystopian Wars, and auctioned on all of them and one of them. And it was like, okay, cool. I got like a whole Dystopian Wars like army for a quarter of the price it would have cost me to get it retail. So a lot of really cool stuff going on. I auctioned on some. There was actually a really cool selection of alcohol. If that's not your thing, totally understand. But like, I like a good like a drink occasionally. And there was a bottle of like whiskey there that looked really nice. That it was the bid price was pretty low. And I was like, okay, I'll try this, right? And I mean, I'll just have that. All that whole bottle will last me 6 months to a year. So anyways, and then I also found an old Fantasy Battles box of Chaos Marauders that I got for $20. So I was like, sweet. I mean, this is great. I'm going to use them for my Kings of War army. That was pretty much the primary festivities that I took. And I went into the vendor halls and I explored the vendor hall as well. Enjoyed checking out a lot of the art. One of my good buddies, Josh Cook, and actually, real quick, I'm gonna tag him. Let me get his handle real quick. So it's joshua.cook.metalmorphosis, METALMORPHOSIS. That's him on Instagram. He does an amazing job because what he does is he has a whole like artist like commission based hobby business. I don't 100% understand it. I know he does make money off of it, so I don't know 100% how the details are, but it's an amazing thing he does with like he shapes metal and stuff. Like he just like takes a bunch of like scrap metal, combines it up into pieces, and makes animals out of it. And he actually won fan and artist pick of the convention. With a fan pick, I think was a jumping spider. He made it like a tarantula, like a really cool like blue tarantula out of a bunch of like metal like gears and stuff, and then a giant dragonfly. It was pretty slick. It was hard to which one of those two to vote for. So I was glad they both won something. Um, anyways, so yeah, I was really happy to see him. He had a whole table of stuff to himself. I'm glad he got some credibility because this stuff's amazing. That was the bulk of the convention for me, was really just hanging out with people. And then I also got to see a lot of I haven't been back to this convention in a few years, and so because like COVID shut it down. I also was really big into cosplay the first time that I was doing it, and so the con had multiple facets to like be there. But I haven't done cosplay since COVID, and so I kind of lost touch with the convention because it was like, do I really want to go for just mini painting? But this year I was like, okay, Goober Town's going to be there, which I mean, hey, it worked. They got people in. And then I knew that my friend Aaron, which congrats, Aaron, he also did well. I'll talk about him later, and good job. He on what I'm about to tell you. He ran the Kill Team demos in the 10th edition for demos. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to go play some Kill Team and go into her painting competition. You know what? Let's do it. And so, anyways, that was the bulk of what happened. So let's get into the details of all of that. The big one, I mean, the really long one we're going to talk about is the mini comp itself. Because the rest of it, I mean, I'm not going to tell you about my open gaming. It wasn't a tournament for Kill Team or anything. It was just me playing some games with some buds and just shooting the shit, talking about the hobby. And that was a blast. And I got to play my first game, or I got to help my buddy Abraham play his first game with his Pathfinders, which is awesome. So I'm hoping he gets into the game and starts playing more. So let's go through my pieces first. The categories for the convention are as follows: small mini, which is it's a little weird. I don't think it's necessarily, it's not like it's incorrect. It's just different from what you see a lot of painting comps. So small mini is 32 millimeter base size and smaller. and then there's large mini, which is 40 millimeter base and larger. So it's a little more open to what you can kind of submit. So while I had like a 32 millimeter scale Space Marine Captain that was on a 50 millimeter base, that would be a small scale, but it was on a big base and it was a bigger model for that scale. So we got to go to large. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's just definitely different. And so you kind of have to um, it doesn't it is more open, so it's a lot more forgiving for people that maybe don't understand painting competitions and that they need to like have minis for specific categories. So, and I like that because the con's whole vibe, my young man self peek out a little bit, the whole vibe of the competition is to be welcoming. I mean, to the convention is to be welcoming. And I mean, obviously it's working for them. This is 31 years into it and they're still going. So I love it. I think that's great. I mean, honestly, I don't care about the rules of the event as long as we know what they are before I get there. And we do. They post everything online. So I don't care about if it's one way or the other, because that's, I mean, you choose to go to the event, and I say this about all sorts of stuff. So I say this about even like gaming tournaments. Like if people are like, I don't like how this rule is, I'm like, well, is it in the player pack? Then you still chose to be here. So as long as everybody's transparent about how things are going, I think it's great. I got to enter more pieces. And that's the other thing too. I think it's also better this way because you can only enter one piece in each category. You can't pay to add more entries. And so I was able to enter what at maybe another competition would have been two small minis, because I entered my Boba Fett and my Space Marine Captain. I was able to enter both and check off multiple category boxes. So as long as we're all playing by the same rules, that's all that matters. So anyways, ranked over. It was fantastic. So the pieces I had, I'll put them up here. Boop, 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 magic on the internet. Boba Fett was who I entered in my small category. And then I entered my Space Marine Captain. And then I entered into large mini category. Then there was a mecha / vehicle category, which I entered a Riptide in. And then there was an open category, which was supposed to be, from what I understood, this is the only one that if there was any of them that I wish they would be more explicit on or specific on. And I hope this somehow this feedback gets back to the SoonerCon people and that it's not taken negatively. This is overall I had an amazing time, and I'll have a closing thoughts as well. But if there's anything I would like open category to be defined more. And I know that's really weird because it's like, well, it's supposed to be open, but there were pieces that I was like, what does that mean exactly? Like what is, because like, is it anything not on a gaming base? Because that's what kind of it was led to believe. Like I was led to believe, based off the description on the website, because it mentioned like bust and minis on the dioramas and stuff. And so I entered a Rat Demon from Mantic, which you guys have seen earlier in my Depticon video, and I'll have it up here too. But I that's not on a gaming base. That is on a like display base. And so is that what they're going for, or is it specifically supposed to be? But that's still a game piece, right? So is it supposed to be more like bust and like full like 54 millimeter scale models? I don't know. And does it need to be like a true diorama, like, or a, is just on a plinth good enough? I don't know. So nothing wrong with that. Just curious to know. So and I think that it's more, maybe it was explained correctly. I just would like a confirmation on it, because if how I understood it was correct, then it was explained fine, and that's just my own anxieties poking at me, making sure I didn't like screw myself, right? Because I was like, oh, I hope I didn't, like, that's the big worry about competitions for me, is like, did I put the wrong thing in the wrong category, and then immediately I just get kicked, from whatever. So, anyways, so on top of that, we have all of my competitors that I know placed. I don't unfortunately know yet because of, I guess maybe it's not out yet. It'll probably come out later in the week who placed where. But I can talk about the pieces that did place at what, and I won't talk about them explicitly because I'm not a critic, but I do want to celebrate them. But first, let's go over my stuff. So let's start with probably the biggest disappointment, which was my Boba Fett. So the problem with my Boba Fett was, and I apparently didn't catch this, sometime between the convention and when I first painted him, and I don't know what exactly happened. There's a contact point where his cape is contacted to the pillar that he's on, and even I go back and look at my initial photos in my Instagram, and it's not there. There was like a white scuff mark on his cape, that looked like it was like, it honestly reminded me of Vallejo snow texture. But I can't see why that would be the case because I didn't ever do any snow basing whenever I was painting him. And when I had painted him, it wasn't on there. So what I'm thinking is that sometime, because he's still a game piece, he's in my Legion army. I think I dropped him and glued him back, and the glue was too much and dried, and I never caught it. So I was pretty much out of the running immediately for small mini. Now that with that being said, I scored still pretty fairly well. I think the max was 80 points, something like that, and then like each judge could give bonus points, so up to I guess technically 100. One judge gave me 80, and then I got 60 to like 69 on all the others, and half of them were like, this cloak ruined it, and I was like, because like if I would have known that, I mean, I with the way the scoring was going and the judge comments that I got, I feel like if I would have caught the cloak, I would have won small mini. So, I mean, and I have no way of knowing that, and I'm not going to try to steal any honor from anybody who did win, but it's disheartening. I mean, it's not anybody's fault but my own. So the one upside is I'm really glad I decided to do the convention because this competition, I'm going to Lone Star Open for Legion, and I'm hoping to win best painted army or best mini or best unit, and Boba Fett's in that list. So I'm really glad that I found out about this now. I've already fixed Boba Fett at this point. I'm really glad I found out about it now and not in the middle of LSO and just got screwed. Because at least here, while I was just shut down from getting small mini, I had 3 other categories I could compete in too. And if I didn't put Boba Fett in, or I didn't go to this competition, I would have lost any chances of LSO as well. So that's much bigger there because I only have the one army to put in. So anyways, yeah, these are my judges' comment. That was really cool. They gave judge sheets out. The next mini was my Space Marine Captain Terminator armor that just came out in the Leviathan box. This was a total gamble on this mini. So the thing about it is I was choosing between this or Abaddon. And my Abaddon looks really good. But this mini, I think, I think technically, from a technical stance, on a scale of 1 to 10, the Abaddon's a 10, and the Space Marine Captain's like a 9, 9.5. So very close from my standard. I mean, they could obviously be improved, but for my standard and my capabilities, they're very close. But everybody's seen Abaddon. It's an all black armor, which means that it can look boring. It's not very striking. Both models, sculpt wise and pose wise, are striking already. But my Space Marine Captain is in like boom red armor with a purple cape and a badass looking power sword. And I did freehand and non-metallic metal and stuff on it. Apparently, one judge just did not like my non-metallic gold. He said it looked like bone. I don't know where that's coming from. I scored a 76 and an 84, which is pretty high on my other judges, and then this judge gave me a 57 because of that. So that's kind of rough. I mean, I don't know how it looks like bone. I can understand how like cream yellows up to whites can kind of look like bone, but I mean, obviously the other judges didn't think that way. And that's fine. I mean, hey, judges are there to give different opinions. So maybe I just need to be wary of how much non-metallic metal I do in minis now. Because like Boba Fett had a nice even balance of it. This Marine was like, boom, NMM on every piece of his armor, right? So like maybe it was just overdone. So something to live and learn. But so and then I was gonna get into this later, and I'll get into more detail about it. I'll just explain it briefly here. I did not get a judge sheet from every judge for every category. So I got 4 for small mini. I only got 3 for large, and then I only ended up getting 2 for mecha and 1 for open. So I don't know. So going into the mecha category, I had my Tau Riptide, which I had painted end of last year with my Tau army. Love that army. I'm so glad that that army has been like, to me personally, it's been the like bridesmaid, not the bride army, because I didn't get a best painted army with it. But the amount of award, and it got a second best, which was honestly, I would have just had nothing. Like I am that like level of like petty, because like I don't. It's so heartbreaking to just get second best. It's like you're the first loser. And I'll get in. I have a big problem of that. It's like competitions are rough for me because I already feel like I'm just taking a gamble on my heart entering stuff. And I gotta just I'm starting to a lot more just enjoy the experience and just expect nothing. I know that sounds a little like, I think, cynical. Um, but if you, I mean, it's for real. Like you just got to enjoy being there and taking the experience in, and just, hey, what if something good happens? Then great. Enjoy everything that you can enjoy, and that's, I think, more important. And SoonerCon reminded me a lot of that. Like I didn't expect entering any of these pieces to win anything, and especially after looking at the cabinet, the competition that was there, it was fierce. And so the fact that I walked out with anything was great, and I just need to be reminded of that more. But I'll get more into that at the end. So my Riptide actually ended up winning best vehicle, and that was awesome. I was so that well, that's where I was getting with that is like it's that army's never like gotten a best painted army, but it has individual models in that army have gotten me a ton of awards. So, and this is a nice like end cap to that because I don't intend to keep entering them into competitions. That army's done. Like, and I don't have. I'm not. I mean, it's been shelved for months. I haven't played it in for a long time. So it's really cool to have like a little last hurrah. And I scored pretty well on it. One judge loved my stuff so much he even wrote out to the back of the paper. And I've read all of these, by the way, myself personally, and I didn't just look at the scores and glance at everything and throw it away. But yeah, so that was Mecca. And then I have in open. I did my scuttles. This one is probably the most confusing because I only got one judge sheet with no notes but max points. So I don't know exactly what that means. Like, yeah, I don't know. I have no clue. Like I don't know, like, because I have nothing to go off of. Like if there were no notes, there's only one judge sheet. So to me it's kind of like, okay, like I mean, does that mean I did well? Or I no clue. So that is it. That's just the way that goes. But so that was my pieces. The the friends of mine that competed, I want to talk about one in particular. So Audra, she is a new friend. We've floated by each other like constantly online, and she's very encouraging. A really awesome painter. Her handle on Instagram is Audzilla_roar, which is fantastic. That's AUDZILLA_RAWR. Honestly, like the quality of I'm not even talking about the painting. Like the painting is great, but the quality of the content that she puts out is really freaking awesome. Yeah, I don't know I don't know really how to like explain that. Like I take photos of my stuff and my minis look great, and then my photos look like meh. So like not only does she do a great job with minis, but like all of the content itself comes out really well. Like the photography skills obviously are there, and I need to pick up on those. So anyways, we floated by each other a lot online, which is awesome. Like really really awesome stuff. And then, we've just kind of been friends online because we're in the same community and we see each other and we constantly are both posting stuff and inspiring each other. Very inspiring stuff. And she ended up actually taking second in Mecca. Now, what's cool about this? I mean, it's bum deal for her, but her Eldar, like she had a Wraith Knight, I think it's what it's called, was the one piece that made me the whole time like go, oh crap, like I'm kind of scared to enter Mecca because like this thing came out really really well, and I'm honestly still kind of like I mean I think it could have been either one of us that won it. I don't know why they chose mine over hers. I don't know, but it's still like the piece looks amazing, and I'll have a picture. I don't think Odzilla's gonna mind if I throw up a photo of it here, but a fantastic piece. I think I could have easily taken the category. I think both the problem with the category was there's a ton of BattleTech and a ton of Imperial Knights, and we were the only thing pretty much different in the category that had a really high level of execution, and we chose color palettes that displayed the models incredibly well. Uh, I didn't get to fully examine her model, but it's mostly white, and I think that might have been one of the possible areas of maybe improvement. I thought it looked great, but the judges obviously like white's hard to do. And I think it looks fantastic. I think anybody would be honored to have that model in their collection, and anybody should be proud of executing it. But maybe there was something in there that they saw that could have been improved on. Because I just know that white's really hard. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know, but fantastic piece. On top of that, we've got best large was my friend Alex. And I think she's going to be fine if I throw up her photo as well. Alex ended up getting. Try to see if I can find Alex's Instagram handle. Oh yeah, poor little slob. So Alex's Instagram is POORLILSLOB. Poor little slob. She's an awesome painter. She's probably the person I've been friends with the longest in the painting community, local painting community. I mean, there's a couple of others that I've known through like gaming, but like pure one-on-one painting, and we kind of I feel like both around the same time started trying to actually compete. So we've both been really close on that front, and like she's an amazing person, awesome friend. She did this really awesomely sculpted Princess and the Pea esque like custom mini, essentially, like really awesome paint job on it as well. But like the sculpting abilities on it was awesome. It's like a bunch of like mattresses and then like a orb. It looks like a Palantir or whatever from like Lord of the Rings, the seeing eyes or the seeing stones, and then like this chick like on top of it with like her garment like or her blanket up. Looks really awesome, fantastic job, and she always does some really cool like she does a lot of non-gaming pieces and they always look super awesome. I'm a big fan of all the stuff she puts out. And then the last category that I know of was best small, which my friend Aaron Wilkerson took with this really cool like Santa Claus mini. I didn't get to see it 100%. I've only seen like photos of it, but I know that like it's really awesome seeing him paint stuff because, and I hope this doesn't come across as rude, but I feel like I've only ever seen like gaming pieces of his, and they look okay. Like they're gaming pieces, right? We all have them. They're better than what most people can put out, but it's still like, can you do better? And it was really awesome getting to see him win a category with a piece that isn't a gaming piece. This is something he really tried on, and getting to see him stretch those artistic muscles, and I'm really proud of it. I think he did a really good job, and I'm super happy for him. He's shown me a lot of his more recent stuff too, even on his gaming pieces, and it feels like everything's improved drastically. So I hope he keeps going with it. If you ever see this, Aaron, just keep rocking it, man. I think you did fantastic. So that is the competition itself. I think my camera is about to time out on me, so I'm gonna try to snippet something in here and break. Okay, we're back after the break. Hopefully, you guys don't see any snippet. It's gonna be like clap, and then we're here. I don't know why. I'm using Clipchamp because it's free and I know how to use it. I don't know. I've just started record. I had the desktop recorder going, and I don't know why. I'm trying to use only Clipchamp, so everything's in one place. And for some reason, Clipchamp has a 30-minute cap, which is weird because you can upload or import a video that's longer to Clipchamp and edit it. So I don't know, whatever. So, anyways, so we just talked about the pieces, and again, I'm so proud of all my friends, and it was really nice to get to meet people that I've only interacted with online and see old friends and see friends improve, and like I'm just really proud of all of them, and I'm proud of everybody who didn't even place. Like my buddy Abraham put in a 3D printed model into large, and then like a Bushido model into small, and I was like, holy crap, dude! Like these look amazing. There was this Mimic Mini, and I'll have a photo of it too, or you might have already seen it come by. There was a Mimic Mini that I saw there that I was like, this could just win the whole thing. Like, and I mean, for all I know, it could have. That's yeah. So I mean, I guess that gets us a good transition into like the few negatives that there were or improvement areas. Some of this might be my own fault, and if it is, then I apologize. But the judge sheet thing is probably the biggest one. Like, if you're gonna give me a judge sheet at all, I want it from every judge. Even if it's just a score, because that's the other thing too is like maybe a quarter of these or a fifth of these were just a score anyways with no notes. That's totally fine. But like my open mini, I have no clue how well I did with it. It got an 80. It got the max points on the one sheet I had, but did all the other judges hate it? Like I don't know. And so I would love to see that. I would love to see like an actual judge sheet handed out from every judge. And I understand that these are all volunteers and it's time consuming. I mean, I think they said they spent 6 hours on the judging. I totally get that, but if there's any way at all that improvement could be made, I'd be so appreciative of it. Because I just don't know. Like, and I want to know. I want to know, what I need to work on. I mean, that's one of the if you're not going to win a category, you want to win experience, and you want to win a learning experience. So I think big applaud to the judges. I really do want to thank them, and also all the people that ran SoonerCon. Fantastic event. I'm glad I came back. I'm going to start going again, I think, every year if I can make it. Summer's also kind of hard, but I think the way they time it out, it usually works out pretty well. So, yeah, if there's any way that can be added to happen next year, I think that'd be awesome because there's a lot of people that go for this to be like their first experience, and they're probably not going to win anything. And so let them at least win the knowledge to improve. So, anyways, the other one is you got to buy 2 days worth of passes. I mean, I guess I shouldn't complain too much because like the mini comp is free, and this is more of a me issue for sure because you're paying like so. For example, the weekend pass I think it was $75. You have to be there Saturday or Friday to drop your minis off, and you cannot pick them up any earlier than Sunday. So you at least have to get 2 days worth of a pass. Well, a $75 pass for the whole weekend, it's like, and if I'm not going to do anything else, in fact, I mean, this is more of a, I'm not even going to say this is a bad thing. This is more of a me problem. I need to find more things to do at the convention to feel like I'm really getting my money's worth. I mean, but I feel like there's probably other people in a similar boat that like they went and they didn't get anything. And now it's like, cool, I'm going home. I stopped in for 30 minutes to drop off my stuff and kind of look around. But, because like for me, I don't really enjoy classes or panels. Open gaming would be like the fact that that's there was huge. I would love for an actual tournament. I know there's a lot of talk about that. We could have a 16 or 32 man kill team tournament on Saturday, and it would be amazing. I would 100% push that with my communities. I would attend it. I would love for that to happen. I mean, and that doesn't even have to be a kill team. It could be anything. Star Wars Legion, Warhammer. I mean, kill team would probably be the best or Shatterpoint, Star Wars Shatterpoint, because they're smaller and you can fit more people in one space and not take up the whole gaming hall with their stuff. But yeah. So, anyways, that's just a thought. to me, I think that would be awesome. And that's maybe when I get back into more cosplay, I'll just kind of enjoy being around the convention, with cosplayers and cosplaying all day Saturday. So, anyways, not really a big negative, but also kind of like, but so not a true negative, more of a personal issue, but still something to note. I think that's something that people need to know about because like if you're going and I mean it's more of an awareness thing. If you're going to go to the event and you want to do just the mini painting competition, that's you're going to have to expect to be there for at least 2 days. So you might look at the other stuff they've got and make sure that because all this stuff is online, like all of their like panels and list of things that they have going, all their events is available online. So maybe make sure that you read ahead and plan for the fact that you're gonna have to be there for 2 days and find other stuff for you to enjoy. That's what I would really turn around and take that with. So that's bad planning on my part. I should have been more. I got kind of lucky that my friend Abraham wanted to go and we played some kill team. But if I didn't have that there, I'd have been kind of like, oh well, this kind of sucks for me because I didn't plan correctly. So definitely nothing on the con, but something to think about. The other one is, and this is more of. I mean, I hope maybe this comes out, but like we don't know who won the mini painting competition. Like I only know who placed where because they're friends of mine online and I can see them post, and I know where I placed because I'm me. Um, but like I don't know who won open. I don't know who won best in show, and the other events, their stuff got posted. Not all of them, but a lot of events did get stuff posted, and I'm wondering if maybe it's just I'm needing to wait or what I don't know what exactly like where we're gonna find that. I've been checking the SoonerCon Facebook and the Game HQ Facebook all day looking for updates, and I don't know. I mean, because the thing is like they got photos with all the winners, and everybody had to pick up their stuff by 2. So I would guess that they've had it. I don't know. Anyways, not a really big thing, but I am really curious to know, and I want to celebrate those people. We'll just kind of have to see what happens. So, anyways, final thoughts. Overall, fantastic. I loved it. I think it was one of my favorite SoonerCons yet. I'm really glad to be back. I saw a lot of really old friends that just made my day. Um, I had even cosplay friends like my friend Rachel that I haven't seen in years. She was there and she saw me and she was like, "Dude, oh, it's so good to see you." We had a hug and like chatted for like 10 minutes, and it was like I didn't think she'd even remember me. That's just a really good feeling, to see those people and be like, "Hey," and then like same for Warhammer and painting. Like I saw a bunch of people that I haven't seen in a long time, and they were just as friendly and awesome and loving and supportive as they were the last time. And then even new friends, like Audra, I hadn't ever met her, and she was super excited to see me, which was awesome. Audra's been very encouraging about me getting kind of back into the local scene, and I really appreciate that. And I'm excited to be back. I mean, and the SoonerCon was a really good way to kind of see that, competing is fun, and I have a very competitive nature, but there's so much more than just competing. Like it's all about enjoying the art for the art, and also the remembering who you know who you came up with. Remembering your roots. Like I'm proud to be an Oklahoma painter and to be part of this community. And I mean, we're not hot shots by any means, but I've not really had anybody be super negative. And I hear about painting competitions in other places, and I go to some of them, and they're kind of cutthroat. It's like we're here to win, and it's like I'm here to look at cool stuff. And I've never really had that feeling in Oklahoma with anybody just like, oh, I'm coming in to beat some ass. Like everybody's just there to have a good time and enjoy, and I'm proud to be a part of that. I'm proud to be part of that. I'm here to enjoy the experience, kind of an environment, that kind of a community. So I love all you guys. I'm really happy that I'm participating more and more, and you guys are just really encouraging to me, and I hope I can encourage you all back. So that's my final thoughts. SoonerCon, you're amazing. I would really recommend it to anybody who just really enjoys the hobby side of their gaming, or if you have any kind of art interest or art experience, or want to submit your own art. It's a wonderful time, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, there's people bringing their wives and kids and their whole families and going around and just checking out really cool stuff. It is a sight to see the cosplays that people do and all the art you can see. Like, you're not going to see this stuff every day, and you're probably not going to see it really hardly anywhere else, especially in Oklahoma. So thank you guys so much for what you do, and I really appreciate it. All right, you guys have a good one.